We've had a busy day, and I really don't have a whole lot to say other than we are just working like crazy. Just doing everything we can to get the country back on the right track. Of course, the House is a little bit ahead of the Senate. We keep sending them bills, and we want them to show up and do their job and let us send some things to the President's desk. We think that would be a great thing. But I really just wanted to hear from y'all. So let me just open the floor, take your questions, and we'll talk from there, from what y'all want to talk about. Let me hear from y'all.
Marsha, how about drug testing for beneficiaries of government programs?
Yeah, we have passed out of the House an allowance.
Well, to happen, you're almost complicit in helping them if they can convert that to cash and go do the drugs.
Yeah, we have passed out of the House when we do the appropriations process, which we do the budget first and kind of set the limits, and then we go through the appropriations process. And what we have done in the past is to say that there was an allowance there that states could do the testing for beneficiaries for their programs. We've gotten that through the House. We hope the Senate will help us do something more permanent. Tennessee did last year start testing. The Tennessee Senate took the allowance that the federal government gave them and started to do some testing. And I think it's working really well with what they've been able to do. And we would like to see that for all federal programs. We also, there's some of us that want to say that if you're ever caught defrauding the government and not paying your taxes, then you can't do business with the federal government or can't work for the federal government. You know, they found all those IRS employees that weren't paying their taxes, and federal employees. I think they had, can't recall the number now, but I think it was over $1 million in back taxes owed by federal employees in Washington, D.C. You know, so we just feel like we're going to, now that we've got the Senate, we can do some of these things. We know the President's going to veto it, but, you know, we'll have a new President in a couple of years. So.
One last thing, selling insurance across state lines. I never have understood why that's not permitted.
Nor do I, because it's my bill.
Going on for years.
Yeah, that's a bill that I've had for 6 years. Can you believe it? 6 years. Makes all the sense in the world.
So anti-competitive.
Here's what I have found out over the past 6 years, and of working on this bill. Actually, now it's 7 years. This is my 7th year since I've had that bill. You know, if you want to buy auto insurance and other things, life insurance, you can just go buy it. Find somebody you want to do business with. If you leave and you've got an agent in another state that's taking care of you, they can continue to take care of you. But when it comes to health insurance, that has not been allowed. And what I have found out is the single state blues, Blue Cross,
right,
and it is primarily the single state blues that have fought that. And that's why you've got the rest of the insurance marketplace working one direction, and you've got this carve out on healthcare that says, no, you can only have this, and employer provided, and if you're in the individual market, you have to buy in your state and have to have this set of benefits. You know, no other insurance you buy do you have to take only what is specifically offered. If you buy life insurance, you have different things you can buy into that policy. Homeowners, look at the different riders you can get in homeowners. You can set deductibilities for your auto insurance. You've got all these options. But when it comes to health insurance, they want to straitjacket you and say, no, it's one size fits all, and we're not going to do that. So,
how long is your bill?
Actually, my bill is a big part of the replacement for Obamacare that Senator Hatch and Congressman Upton and Senator, one other, were rolling out. And a big part of that is the across state line purchase of health insurance. We think it's the right thing to do. It makes sense. And we have been encouraged, actually, Secretary Birdwell, who's the HHS secretary, said she thought that across state line insurance was probably an idea whose time has come. Of course, she was looking at the exchanges.
Yeah.
And we're looking at a free market. A little bit of a difference.
Right.
Yeah. So, but we're continuing to push it. All of the replacements for Obamacare have had across state lines included in that. And we've done a ton of work on this through the years. We've taken care, we've worked with the state insurance commissions, and we've got it to where the state of domicile of the insurance company, a consumer would have those protections, plus that insurance company would have to file in Tennessee if they wanted to sell a product here.
Right.
So you have the Tennessee protections also. So you really have two avenues for making certain that things are done right. All right. I know you've got questions.
I always have questions.
You always have questions.
Tell us a little bit about what you think and what the Republican House might be working on to reduce the deficit and government spending. I know what you already said is true. Probably anything you put forward would be vetoed by somebody.
I was just on the phone with one of my colleagues from Florida while Johnny B. and I were driving over here, and I represent the Energy and Commerce Committee on the Budget Committee, and we are going to bring a budget forward that will first of all balance in under 10 years. Senate has agreed that their budget will, they're going to try to meet us or balance theirs in 10 years. I think we might get ours down to 8 years. We're working on it. We are going to end the double dipping on disability and unemployment. Let's get back to the benefit issue. We are going to look at premium support for Medicare for those seniors that are still working, want to keep their insurance, don't want to enroll in Medicare. Look at that for a period of time. It wouldn't affect current seniors and near seniors, but would be something you're looking at 2024, starting that, which I think is a great idea. Most people want to continue working after 65, and they don't want to be forced into Medicare. They want to keep their network of doctors and stay with what they've got, and this is a way for Medicare to cap their expense. We're also looking at how you fully fund the military, and we can raise the spending there, but keep our budget cap numbers by doing more reductions in discretionary. One of the provisions that I brought forward and we're working to do, and I think this is going to be great, the federal government owns more property than they should, whether it's land or buildings. And what we're working on is a 10-year plan to divest us of some of this real estate that we own. I hope I get it finished, that we've got something on paper by the time we get ready for the budget to go forward.
Good, thank you.
The other thing, and I know you've heard me talk about this before, and I know it's a concept you support. The federal government uses a process called baseline budgeting, which means last year you got $100, you're going to ask for $100 this year, plus you're going to ask for another 15. And if you don't get all 15, then you start saying, they cut me, they cut me. And what we're going to do is put in place, both in the instruction language, and then I'm bringing it forward when we rewrite the 74 Budget Act, and that is zero-based budgeting. And that means that you get a clean sheet of paper and a number 2 pencil with a good eraser on it, and you start building that budget out from $1. It is more like what our counties and our cities do, because they're always having to live within a balanced budget. They can't go run up big debt, and it's the right way to do it. And a lot of our agencies utilize the very same format. So those are some specifics, we're moving forward on. I'm really excited that it's going to be one to balance within 10 years. I think that's going to be great. The good thing is you will see us do a budget this year because this president hasn't done one. He did one budget. So we're going to get a budget, and that will allow us to move to the appropriations process where we put some of these riders on things that you can and cannot use money for. And then it gets us to reconciliation, and this is how we cut in to Obamacare and some of these other programs that are just running through the roof.
Thank you.
Yes.